The following messages will only be in Finnish. Stay tuned for the episode. Korona on kestänyt jo reilun vuoden ja osa ihmisistä on joutunut erittäin tiukkaan tilanteeseen sekä taloudellisesti että henkisesti. Mielenterveys on ollut ja on edelleenkin koetuksella näiden vaikeiden asioiden edessä ja musiikki ja kulttuuri auttaa jaksamaan vaikeiden aikojen yli. Haluamme tarjota mahdollisuuden unohtaa harmaa arki hetkeksi ja viettää lauantai-iltaa ilmaisen live-streamin parissa. Striimi tulee näkymään Radiomajavan Facebook- ja YouTube-kanavan kautta ja on nähtävillä ilmaiseksi. Halutessasi voit tukea mielenterveystyötä lahjoittamalla pottiin rahaa Suomen mielenterveysseuran kautta. Tiedot löytyvät Facebook-tapahtuman sivuilta. Elävä musa, parempi mieli, live-striimi, lauantaina 24.4. kello 18 alkaen. Esiintymässä ovat ainakin seuraavat henkilöt. Jukka Takalo, Kaarle Viikate, Maija Paakkari, Janne Aslak ja Rock DJ Sandy. Illan isäntänä toimii Mikko Pernu. Tervetuloa mukaan. Kauppuri 5 on toteuttanut iskulausettaan krapulan hoitoa ja hankintaa jo vuodesta 2010. Kauppuri on käynyt läpi monta muodonmuutosta ja kehittänyt itseään vuodesta toiseen. Vuosi koronaa on nyt takana ja kauppuri on edelleen pystyssä, mutta veitsin terällä ollaan. Pelastetaan kauppuri. Yhdessä on Facebook-tapahtuma, jonka tiimolta ravintola pyritään pelastamaan. Mukana on suuri joukko yhteistyökumppaneita ja muita yrityksiä. Sun nimi, Vanerilaatta, oli hetkellisen päähänpiston kautta välittömästi toteutettu idea. Yksityishenkilö tai yritys voi ostaa itselleen paikan kauppurin katosta 20 euron kappale hintaan. Kauppuri 5 täyttää 16.4. jo 11 vuotta ja on siis lunastanut paikkansa tärkeänä osana Oulun ravintolaskeneä. Auta pelastamaan kauppuri. Lisätietoa Facebook-tapahtumasta. Hello there, dear listener and viewer, and welcome to another episode of The Tales Behind the Talent. And this time my guest is Sakis Darkface, and I will let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, Michael. Hello to your listeners and viewers. I was really happy to have this invitation, actually. For those who don't know, and I assume it's many people who don't know me yet, I am Sakis Darkface. I am the singer and guitar player of Greek dark metal band W.E.B.
Mm-hmm.
Call it dark metal, call it symphonic black metal, melodic death metal. We've been called lots of stuff. We've been around since, oh damn, it's a lot of years. 2002.
That's almost 20 years. Next year, 20 years.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Yeah, it is. And we have 4 albums, an EP out there. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, actually, other than we are a metal band, just like any other.
Yeah,
and we wanna conquer the world just like any other.
You're actually my first guest that is not here in Oulu or in Finland. I have had one distance interview before, but you're based in Athens, Greece, right?
In Athens. Yes.
Yeah. So
we're in Athens, and actually, I just want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that we played in Oulu in 2019, 2 years. It was March, almost 2 years ago. It was March of 2019, and I loved the place, and I loved in every city in Finland. We visited 3 cities: Oulu, Tampere, and Helsinki. And turns out that I don't only love the Finnish metal scene, many favorite bands I have from there. I love the metalheads as well from Finland. For sure, one of my favorite people to play.
Finnish people. Yeah, we are really like a metal kind of folk here, and We love our metal, and we have a lot of metal bands, like the most per capita. So what are your sorry, at this point, what are your Finnish metal bands that you listen to? Because before I let you answer that, I will say that a lot of my friends actually listen to Greek metal bands a lot, and like Septic
Really?
Flesh and Rotting Christ. So they are
Okay.
very popular here. So is it that way that Finnish metal is also popular in Greece?
Yes, actually, yes, it is very popular. And I mean, my favorite band from Finland is Sentenced.
Mm,
I also grew up listening to Children of Bodom, Impaled Nazarene,
mm,
and I can say that also Nightwish are huge
mm.
here. Um, of course, him is what used to be a
Yeah,
huge
used to be huge.
name. So yeah, actually, yeah, Greeks love the Finland metal scene, and I actually didn't know that Finnish people like Greek metal scene as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the fact that like different cultures are like people are attracted by different kinds of cultures, because from Greece comes a lot of like symphonic metal and that kind of Hellas Greece type of like scenery and atmosphere. That there's a lot of like music about Greek gods and the history and everything like
You
that.
know, I think we have a common factor. Um I mean, uh, Children of Bodom,
Mm,
Amorphis use um, many ethnic
mm,
um, vibes in their
mm.
music, and in Greek metal this also applies. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and somehow I think we find our connection in there
yeah. I
somehow.
think I think too. And folk metal is quite big in Finland. All kinds of that classic instruments and everything like that, or not classic, but in traditional instruments. But I myself really like Septic Flesh and Rotting Christ because they have the symphonic features, and
Yeah,
your band also has those.
yeah,
I think that it's very cool. But let's talk about your band a little bit more later. But let's
okay.
go to the first question.
Hmm.
How did you get introduced to music? I think that this question might be different because you're from a different culture than I am. Usually in the Finnish culture, it's the same with everyone in a way. But is there kind of a
Which is,
tradition? Is that some people get introduced at school, or the parents will want that they start playing piano or something like that in a very young age. That's something
yeah.
that my image of what that is, uh, or that's my image of what it is. But then there's of course people who start in their 20s. But how was it for you?
For me was somehow the same. I mean, when I was born, the day I was born, the first gift I had as a newborn baby was, and I still have it, was a two-scale keyboard.
Okay.
Uh, so I always had in my room a huge two-scale keyboard to fool around, and mess around with the sounds and everything. And when I was 5, I started piano lessons,
Mm,
and then also continued at school. I can say I was really into music, though.
mm,
I got into music when as a listener, when
mm.
I started to hear rock and metal music, and I got the passion when I first touched a guitar.
Okay. So
I went to a friend's house and he had a guitar and I just couldn't let it go. So I was brave enough to sell all my video games at the time to buy my first guitar.
okay, what age was this?
Uh, 13. Yeah, 13.
Okay.
13 years old.
So regarding like piano, was it your parents that wanted you to play piano, or
Well, you know, my mother was playing the accordion. My father was a trumpet player in an orchestra. So there wasn't really a piano background anywhere. And they were involved in music as until their early 20s. It wasn't a passion for them. It was like, just parents putting their kids to a music school. And somehow in my school, because I didn't I wasn't going to a public school. In the school that I was sent, they were having like mandatory piano lessons for every student, and singing lessons as well, and the children's choir and everything. So I did all that as a child. And when I changed school, I stopped the music for a couple of years, and then I found the guitar. So I signed up myself to a music school, and there I am. And also, while I was studying in college, I also had parallel studies, college-wise, in music technology, in music history, in music theory. I did many. No, I had a two complete courses in film music to compose for films and everything. So yeah, lots of stuff.
So I would imagine that those studies have been very beneficial for you while composing music for W.E.B and thinking about the symphonic elements, at least, because like music theory. No, actually, really.
No. I say no. The reason is, yes, they are tools. Okay. But when I am composing, I'm not thinking about that.
Okay.
I'm not thinking of what I learned. I just go with what my hands are saying, and when my hands stop, I just start imagining how this song would follow up. Maybe. So I spent days just looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
But actually working on it.
At the same time,
yeah.
So since you started playing the guitar, have you always been excited about music? And after your college years, has there been a break where you've been like, okay, I'm done with music and I don't want to continue, or has it been continuous? Always a passion for music. Okay.
Yeah, I had also a passion for sports, but there came a point that I said that okay, that's enough, because I was trying to enter a professional basketball team. I was a basketball player.
Yeah.
I used to be a professional swimmer. I was running like every week in games and everything, won medals and stuff, but I didn't really like it. That was like a mandatory stuff that the boy has to be an athlete. And I had a passion for basketball, but I never got to it because the mayor's best friend child maybe should be in the team instead of me.
Okay, so a little bit of nepotism made you decide
Yeah,
for
in
music.
so many ways. So yeah, after like 3 years that I was trying and trying and trying,
Mm.
I said, okay, that's enough. I'm gonna just be music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with one of my earlier guests about sports and music, like being on the balance of which should I choose in a way. And it was for him that at one point his parents were like, "Yeah, you're not gonna do music because it's not gonna be a profession for you." But like being an athlete in Finland also isn't like that high of a pay, in a way. But in the end, the parents ended up supporting him in the music. And uh,
The
how about
music
you?
is not a profession for me as well.
Mm,
I am not making a living out of music. I'm making some money, but it's really, really
mm,
little. I am forced to have a day job to be able to survive and to be able to have the band as well, because having a band is very expensive.
yeah, and I think that's the case for like the majority of everyone I'm gonna be interviewing. And that's
Mm.
one of the aspects that I want to kind of bring out, that it's not always as simple as that. That you, even though you would have a lot of listeners or something like that, it doesn't mean that you don't need a day job or something. You just there usually has to be a financial support of some kind to support the band also, because it
The
takes a
only
lot of money.
way, the only way is touring.
Mm,
If you, I mean, we are not a big band. We're a
mm,
small band, but whenever we go on tour, we make good money.
mm,
Because it's not the fees, it's not the band fees. We are very lucky to be selling lots of merchandise
mm.
in our concerts, so we make good money out of merchandise.
Yeah, and I think that merch is the uh, should be. That's my opinion. Like you can also always like buy records and everything, but if you just listen to a band somewhere, if you want to support them, merchandise is a very good way to do that, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
of course
and
it is.
and I've been seeing on Facebook that you've been actually like promoting this clothing line or something for event workers and people that work in the event industry right now.
Yeah,
I can include the link in the YouTube if you want to
yes,
support
it's
workers.
it's esfs.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
It's epic struggle for survival.
mm,
Yeah, it's a movement that started by a friend, Hank Mole, and because he's got a touring agency,
mm,
a pretty cool touring agency. We toured together as well,
mm,
and all touring agencies are suffering
mm,
right now, really, really suffering. And he came up with that because, you know, the artists are suffering, but it's not only the artists. There are people in the industry that
mm,
they are in much, much more of a difficult situation. I mean, I am still getting money out of streaming,
mm,
out of merchandise that I have people buying.
mm,
Okay, and I'm pretty lucky for that.
mm,
I don't know about my sound engineer.
mm,
I don't know about my light technician. I don't know about my guitar technician.
mm.
I don't know about. Uh, you see, these people don't have merchandise.
Yeah.
They don't have streaming platforms. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm making too much money, but at least there's something there. I don't know how the rest of the people behind the scenes, that they are really, really important.
Mm,
How do they manage?
mm.
So this clothing line is all about them, actually.
Yeah. So if you want to support like people that are making the events happen, so I will add the link at least on YouTube, and those that are listening to streaming platforms can visit there. So I'm gonna add that there, and I think that the prints and everything are kind of cool, and they are like good looking clothes as well. So
Yeah,
you will also benefit yourself by looking cool afterwards.
yeah.
But let's talk about your band activity a little bit more. So when did you first start playing in a band, and what kind of project was that?
I started playing. I didn't start playing. I started singing because there was a bunch of friends going to studio back when I was 14 years old, and they told me, we're going to a studio to jam, and we're jamming like this song and this song and this song. Do you want to come and sing? And I was, I never ever thought of singing. I I didn't even know how a microphone looks like.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, it's gonna be cool. Why not? So I went to the studio for the first time. I still remember that day, and I remember that I want to do this. This is cool. I like it. I'm with friends playing music. Yeah, we sound awful, but there's some magic in
happening
that.
in the background of it all.
Yes, yes, in between people. So I remember we were not a band. That was not a band. But I remember by that time I was searching for people my age who could play an instrument. Started trying gathering people to, hey, you play the guitar. Okay, you want to go to the studio Saturday? Okay, let's find a drummer. You play the drums. Okay, want to go to the studio? What are we going to play? I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. So that was like my favorite thing when I was a teenager. Gathering people, and at some point, those people became like very steady. So somehow, at some point, I started playing the guitar into the studio as well. Of course, my voice was awful all the time, but I insisted on singing because I liked it. We were playing covers. At some point, we tried, playing our own stuff. But this is really, really early things. I mean, it's really immature, but still, it is a period that people without experience need to gain experience.
Yeah.
To see what's wrong, because what I always asked in those jams, I always asked the studio to record it on tape. So I got it every time in a cassette tape, and I listened to it, to see what's going on, see what's going on. Then I formed my first band, which was called W.E.B. Not the W.E.B that it's right now. It was, a heavy thrash metal band.
Okay.
Not a very good band, but I really, really enjoyed it. And we had a couple of gigs. And at the same time, I think, 1999, I entered Eternity, a band called Eternity, which was a melodic black metal band.
Okay, yeah.
And the other guitarist, is the live guitarist of Septic Flesh right now.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because we've been friends since little kids. And
he's the curly haired guy, right? Or is it
got curly hair? The left-handed guitarist.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got curly hair. No.
Okay.
No.
I've seen some clips already. I have to check him out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is also the guy that, I mean, 20 years from then, he's the guy that mixed our previous album, and he's the guy that we recorded the album we are preparing right now. And he, at the moment, I believe that at this time that we are doing this interview, he has continued with that. I'm gonna call him afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still friends and cooperating. So with that band, that I started preferring the melodic black metal band Eternity that I entered, and I tried to run with this band. I started, booking shows myself for us and everything. We played many black metal festivals here in Greece. And at some point I regrouped with myself, and when I decided to leave this band for personal reasons, I formed my own band again, and I decided to call it W.E.B again, and this is the band that I'm having right now. Yeah.
So when you were in Eternity, did you play and sing at the same time, or just?
No. I was only playing the guitar.
Only guitar this time, yeah.
Yeah, and did some backing vocals. That's all.
So thinking about vocals from the first band project that you had with friends in the studio, and before forming W.E.B, how did you kind of train for your vocals? Was it a part of the Eternity band that you kind of rehearsed for vocals to be better in a way?
Okay, here's how it went. The main reason I broke up my personal band W.E.B the first time was because I couldn't find a singer that I liked his voice, because I didn't like my voice. And but I loved singing, and there were a couple of rehearsals with Eternity that I did the vocals because our singer was a bit late. So yeah, for fun, yeah, let's do it. And the guys told me, you sound pretty okay for black metal. I mean, so yeah, the voice was really mature back then, and actually, I started training with my voice, not training, exploring my voice in the recordings of the first W.E.B album, in which I recorded, but did not actually. I wasn't planning on singing. I wasn't planning on singing, but I recorded the vocals, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna do this better and better. Yeah, and I like it. Okay, yeah, and it turned out somehow. The second album, before the second album, I had already started training my voice for this particular genre, and I mean, I started modern singing.
Yeah,
I did singing lessons. And I also did found some online lessons from Melissa Cross to how to protect my voice. And then there were countless rehearsals in which I started and found how to unlock the extreme vocal thing.
So I'm one of the people right now who is trying to find the first technique of kind of forming growls, and I think that I'm on the verge of finding them. But at the same time, I'm kind of afraid for my voice a little bit. So I think that I really need to get a lesson to get above that first step, and then start recording safely. And I think that there's a lot of
dangerous.
I think there's a lot of people nowadays doing that more, but I think that during that time, I think that was there Like, was it that common to find those kinds of lessons that during that time, or was it like a couple of people that you could get only to train with?
I started for, as I said, I started modern singing lessons so as to know how to operate the whole system.
Yeah.
How to breathe properly, how to get the air out properly and everything. And if you master that, it's not very far from doing growls.
Yeah. Okay.
And you learn to protect your voice, and you learn to have a powerful voice. And back then, it was really difficult to find someone to teach me or anything. So I really asked from the band, please, let's be patient, and let's work it out with the vocals again, every day. I was trying every day. It's like, going to the gym. It's a muscle. You need to train it. You need to make it stronger. Then comes the muscle memory stuff. I'm not very good in explaining this stuff, because at the moment it just comes naturally out of me.
So I think the lesson here was that you should take a normal singing lesson first and find the like the basics of forming the voice, and then I think that would sound good for me and maybe other people.
Most of the people that I have seen that teach growls, that actually teach growls, they never teach growls like right away. They start from singing lessons. So I was just lucky, that I did the singing lessons. I didn't do it on purpose. I was just trying to find a way. And I was lucky that I did that. And I am seeing that people right now that are teaching growls, they are starting from singing lessons, actually. So as you know how to warm up, how to protect your voice, how anything, and so forth.
Yeah, sounds good, actually.